Hi YouTube, it's Diana. So in my last video, a lot of you guys were saying that I kind of lost my Call of Duty niche, I guess. But I mean, I guess that is kind of true, but not completely true. I mean, I go back to Black Ops 2 and I still do fairly well, and you know, that's even on the 360 with a different controller. It just, I mean, in the beginning I've always had I always struggled with Call of Duty Ghosts, and this is actually a solo KEM Fail. I go on a 24 gun streak and I die by something stupid. I mean, it was completely my fault, so I was mad about it at that time, but at least it wasn't at least it wasn't by a camper or a dog or a squad mate, you know. And I know I got a lot of feedback from you guys saying that my last video was really negative, but I mean, first of all, I don't play core, and the reason why I was playing core is because, you know, there were only like 400 people in the playlist, in the hardcore playlist, and I mean, it was taking forever to find a game, and when I do, it was search and rescue, and I was just not looking to play that. And so, I mean, obviously I'm not as good in core as I am in hardcore, but I mean, it was quite frustrating, and we all know how I feel about this game. But hopefully in this review for Devastation that I'm doing, I'll just be more neutral, I guess. I mean, it's still my opinion, but I will try to be more neutral. But I will say that death by Riley was ridiculous. I mean, he went through leaps and bounds to go and kill me on those steps. I mean, that was pretty crazy. Alright, so let's carry on to my thoughts on the new DLC Devastation. Well, there are 4 maps, obviously, and there's Collision, Behemoth, Ruins, and Unearth. So this is Collision, and it's hard to say if it's my favorite map. All of the maps are just kind of, it just seems like they kind of just got a whole bunch of crap and just spit it out onto a plane. Like, it's so weird. Like, the angles, there are a lot of like flanking angles, so it's kind of weird. And so there's a lot of like little camping spots, like little cubbies where you would just like you just don't even understand why it's there, or random rooms on the edge of the maps. Like, it's just, why is that even there? There's just like really no flow to it. And I mean, the maps are a lot smaller, which is nice, but some of the maps have like 3 floors, which kind of makes it seem like it's a big map still, you know? So in Collision, there's just like a bunch of random junk everywhere, and it's hard to see like a open view, and I use my peripheral vision a lot, so I mean, it's hard to rely on it because there's always like some kind of random junk on the side, and you know, it's easy for them just to sneak up like right next to you. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. And then there's Behemoth, which is probably my least favorite map. It's very linear, very dark, and there's also a ton of crap everywhere. And I mean, people can just sit in the back of their spawns and probably just get a KEM strike. Like, it's insane. I don't know. It's just, even on the Xbox One, where the graphics are a lot better, it was still hard to tell the difference between an actual person and some kind of crap, you know? Like, I'm not a really big fan of that map, and that's a very, very cam friendly map. And then there's Ruins, which I think is a really pretty map. It reminds me a lot of Jungle from Black Ops 1, but if somebody's wearing a ghillie suit, they blend in perfectly. It's crazy. I've walked by so many people wearing ghillie suits because I completely didn't see them. And I mean, I like some parts of the map, but there's one side where it's pretty much like 3 floors, and it just gets pretty, I don't know, that side just gets pretty ugly, but the other side flows pretty well. And the last one is Unearth, which is the remake of Dome. And if you guys say that Strike Zone is not the remake of Dome, I don't know what is. I mean, whenever I played Unearth, it felt like I was playing Strike Zone. It was weird, but I mean, you know, same usual camping spots in that game, or in that map, and sometimes I just don't like it whenever they bring back old maps into the new Call of Duties, because Ghost does not play like Modern Warfare 3. It doesn't. It just, I mean, people camp even harder in Unearth than they did in Dome. I mean, it's insane. I mean, these maps are better than some of the maps already in rotation, like, you know, Siege is terrible, and so is Chasm and Stonehaven, but it's not as good as the first DLC in my opinion. The first DLC, I enjoyed playing those maps, but in this one, not really so much. And for my thoughts on the new DLC gun, the Ripper, I think it's an incredible gun, both in core and in hardcore. In hardcore, you can see in this game, like, I just hip fire so much. I mean, the hip fire is pretty spot on, and I mean, there's just very little recoil in this gun. I'm not really a big fan of the iron sights both on the SMGs and the assault rifle, but I mean, I'll get used to them just like how I did with the MTAR, but I mean, I think the gun is pretty awesome. But if you guys are asking, is it worth it to buy the DLC? For me, probably not. At least for the maps. I mean, if you think the gun is really good, but if you think it's worth paying 15 bucks for the gun, then go at it. But I probably would not have bought this personally. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, so please like, subscribe, comment. Thanks. Bye.